Good evening. This is the 18 WJTS News. I'm Charlotte Olson. Slick conditions this morning caused delays for some county residents and working communities. Local police agencies in Jasper, Huntingburg, and Ferdinand, along with the County Sheriff's Department, responded to slide-offs along Highway 56, State Road 162, and Old State Road 231, as motorists found themselves battling slick conditions after a night of wet weather and weeks of below-freezing temperatures. In Jasper this morning, a portion of 36th Street was temporarily closed after ice had formed on a section of the roadway that does not see much sunlight. This did cause minor accidents. Road conditions near Hayesville proved slick as police responded to 2 incidents involving slide-offs, and rain continued to move in from the west across the region until around noon today. Road temperatures hovered near freezing, creating slick conditions in rural areas, and slick conditions also led to local area schools running on 2-hour delays, while other school corporations canceled school altogether for today. 2 people from DuBois County were picked up and arrested late last week for the attempted burglary of a rural Gibson County home. Around 11:30 on Friday night, a deputy with the Gibson County Sheriff's Department was performing an extra patrol of a residence in the 4000 block of South 550 West due to several thefts that have occurred within recent weeks. Upon entering the property, the deputy noticed a pickup truck parked on the property and they knew did not belong there. Authorities say that 2 people, identified as 36-year-old Humberto Palma and 31-year-old Tasha Sisk, both of St. Anthony, were found inside one of the buildings and were held at gunpoint until backup could arrive. Once backup arrived, Palma and Sisk were taken into custody. After a police investigation, both Palma and Sisk were taken to the Gibson County Jail, where they were booked for attempted burglary and also criminal trespassing. They remain in custody on a $1,250 bond. The Gibson County Department was assisted by the Owensville Police Department and Fort Branch Police Department as well. The report of an individual suffering a panic attack while driving on Jasper's west side on Sunday morning ended with the arrest of a Kentucky man on a charge of operating while under the influence of drugs after he pulled over in a church parking lot to await medical attention. Jasper police say that around 10 a.m. on Sunday, Memorial Hospital Emergency Medical Services received a report of a male stating that he was having a panic attack while operating a motor vehicle. Police then say the man, who was 30-year-old Christopher Lutz of Corden, Kentucky, pulled over into the Precious Blood Church parking lot to wait for EMS. While waiting, police say that he attempted to use methamphetamine earlier that morning. He was taken to Memorial Hospital for a blood draw, which police say returned presumably positive for amphetamines. Lutz was taken to and booked into the DuBois County Security Center on a Class A misdemeanor charge of OWI and a Level 5 felony charge of unlawful possession of a firearm on school property. A Pike County teenager who was involved in a single vehicle accident early Sunday morning along County Road 400 North outside of Ireland was able to walk away from the accident after rolling her car several times. 17-year-old Sarah Englehart Gregory of Velpen was able to walk to a nearby residence to call for help after she rolled her 2003 Toyota Corolla. DuBois County Sheriff's Department reported that Englehart Gregory had been traveling westbound on County Road 400 North and had drove off the right side of the roadway over the shoulder, overcorrected driving back onto the roadway, and then crossed both lanes of travel, continuing westbound. While crossing both lanes, the Corolla began to spin 180 degrees and ran off the road and into a ditch, with the rear of the Corolla striking an embankment and rolling over several times. Deputies reported that the Toyota finally came to rest on its driver's side down in the ditch facing east. Englehart Gregory was able to free herself from the vehicle and walk to a nearby residence to call for help. Deputies with the Sheriff's Department said that she complained of pain to her right shoulder and to her back. DuBois County Sheriff's deputies were assisted at the scene by Memorial Hospital EMS, Ireland Fire Department first responders, the Jasper Police Department, and a wrecker from Sternberg's. Monroe County, that lost its last covered bridge to a 1976 fire, is getting a new one that isn't new at all. Crews will begin rebuilding that dismantled 1885 bridge this spring across Bean Blossom Creek in northern Monroe County. Most of the span that's known as the Cedar Ford Bridge has been in its storage since county officials acquired it in 1975 from central Indiana's Shelby County. The bridge's siding and roof will be replaced during the estimated $1.6 million project because they were damaged during their decades in storage. The county once had as many as 14 covered bridges, but the last of them was destroyed in a 1976 fire that was likely due to arson. The Vigo County coroner says it will take about 2 to 6 weeks to positively identify a female body that was found in a car registered to a woman who hasn't been seen in nearly 2 months. Vigo County coroner Dr. Susan Amos says that she's awaiting results from DNA tests following an autopsy on Saturday. Terre Haute Police Assistant Chief Sean Keene says that the body was found in a car belonging to 77-year-old Alice Oswald after the vehicle was recovered from a remote pond in eastern Vigo County around 3:30 p.m. on Friday. Keene says that the November 9th disappearance of Oswald continues to be investigated as a homicide. She was last seen leaving a heating and cooling business to meet a worker at one of her rental properties. The Indiana General Assembly reconvened last week to kick off the 2018 legislative session. District 48 State Senator Mark Messmer of Jasper says that he, along with fellow lawmakers, are working to address issues facing our state communities. Messmer says throughout the coming weeks they plan to research, discuss, and hear testimonies on a variety of subjects as they continue to make Indiana a great place to live, work, and raise a family. Messmer says that while lawmakers will consider hundreds of proposals, there are a few issues that legislators are looking to address specifically.
First is improving our state's workforce and preparing our students for the jobs of the future. With the Indiana Economic Development Corporation estimating 1 million new Hoosier jobs in the coming years, it's imperative we have a skilled workforce available to fill those jobs. Second is combating the opioid epidemic. The entire country is dealing with an opioid crisis that is tearing apart communities and families. By addressing this epidemic through prevention, treatment, and enforcement, we hope to curb the rampant abuse of these powerful drugs.
Another topic that lawmakers will discuss is education, since ensuring Hoosier students receive a high quality of education is one of our top priorities every year. Messmer says that lawmakers will hear proposals related to cursive writing, the school calendar, and school start age, among many other school-related topics. With so much happening during the legislative session, Messmer encourages constituents to visit www.in.gov/IGA to stay up to date on all proposed legislation. You can also sign up for Messmer's weekly e-newsletters by visiting www.indianasenaterepublicans.com/Messmer to stay informed of what's happening at the State House. As always, you can feel free to contact Messmer directly with your questions and concern, and his email is senator.messmer@iga.in.gov, or you can reach him by phone at 800-382-9467. This past weekend, the Frozen in Time father and daughter dance warmed hearts as 200 father-daughter duos arrived to take part in the second annual dance, which benefits Good Samaritan Society Northwood Retirement Community. Priscilla Olson of Ireland, who has been involved with volunteering her time at Northwood since the 7th grade, helped to organize the event in cooperation with the retirement community as a way of keeping generations, both new and old, connected. Those who attended were able to meet and greet the Frozen sisters, Elsa and Anna, along with their trusty sidekick snowman, Olaf. Olson, who performed the all-time favorite song, Let It Go, as Elsa from the Disney classic Frozen show, was in no short supply of tiny little Elsas and Annas following her every move. This is the second year that Olson has organized a dance event whose proceeds solely benefit Northwood. Last year, Olson organized a grand ball, which was a dance for grandparents and their grandchildren. As Olson's aim is to connect younger and older generations through her charity, Illuminating Life, Shine for Senior Citizens. Funds raised from the event will go to residents at Northwood as the money is divided equally for their activity funds. And make sure you keep it right here, because up next we're going to take a look at your weather summary.